invite our next paper presenter, Shailaja Rani D.
Yes. Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. After a sumptuous lunch, I think it's a challenge to audience and to the speaker as well. And by now, we have probably seen enough PowerPoint slides to last until next year conference. Just kidding. So, before another slide appears, let me begin with a simple question. How many of us have spoken one language, only one language?
Can you please adjust your mic, please?
Now it's okay, sir. It's okay, sir, now? Yeah, thank you, sir. So, how many of us have spoken only one language since we woke up this morning? Only one language since we woke up. Probably nobody, I think. Yes. We speak out our mother tongue at home, English at work, and often mix languages naturally. Yet, when children enter the classroom, we suddenly expect them to think only in English. Is that really how learning happens? That question inspired this study. I'm Dr. D. Shailaja Rani, working in Disability Welfare Department, Rangareddy Districts. Today, I'll present my paper titled Translanguaging in India, a Pedagogical Revolution or a Threat to Proficiency. Languages are not walls, they are windows to understanding. So, let us explore how multilingualism can become one of the greatest trends of Indian education. This diagram shows that multilingual education is about finding the right balance while home languages or home speaking promote inclusion and understanding English proficiency. Generally, proficiency remains essential for higher education and career opportunities. So, as you're already aware of the fact that India's linguistic landscape is a larger one, and India is home to 22 scheduled languages and hundreds of regional and tribal languages, such as diversity is both our greatest strength and one of the biggest educational challenges. And coming to the theoretical foundations, Translanguage is supported by established educational theories. Vygotsky reminds us that learning is fundamentally social. Cummins demonstrates that knowledge acquired in one language can support learning in another. Gracia and Way extend this by viewing multilingual speakers as drawing from one integrated linguistic repertoire rather than separate languages systems. Together, these perspectives encourage more inclusive learning. Yeah, coming to the point of what is exactly is translanguaging. ఇప్పుడు మనం ఒక విషయాన్ని మాట్లాడుతున్నాం కదా. How many of you identified the language code switching? I just transferred or code switched my language from Telugu to English. Generally, we use this in our daily normal life. So this is called translanguaging. It is the flexible use of all the languages a learner knows to understand and communicate effectively. Let me explain with a simple example. If anybody wants to, or if any new stranger wants to travel from Hyderabad to Delhi, he generally takes the help of Google Maps. And Google Maps generally give us three routes. I mean, 3 roads. All the 3 roads or roads leads to the same destination. Similarly, students may use Telugu, Hindi, or English or Urdu to reach the same understanding. Here, learning is the destination and language is simply the route. The destination is learning, language is simply the vehicle of communication. Unlike traditional teaching, translanguaging does not separate languages. It allows learners to use their complete linguistic language to build translanguaging. And here comes the point of translanguaging versus code switching. Just now I spoke one Telugu sentences and I have added that sentence with the English sentence. So that is code switching. These terms are often confused. What is translanguaging versus code switching? But they are very different in meaning. Code switching means alternating between languages, whereas translanguaging allows learners to use all their linguistic resources simultaneously to construct a meaning. The distinction is important because it shifts our focus from language boundaries to the learner's complete communicative ability. Coming to the pedagogical revolution, when used strategically, translanguaging helps learners understand complex concepts, participate more confidently, and feel that their linguistic identities are respected. Multilingualism is a cognitive flexibility here, whereas, of course, generally we face challenges. And let us understand the potential risks of translanguaging. However, translanguaging is not a universal solution. Without clear objectives and systematic language interpretation or instruction, students may struggle to develop strong proficiency in English or any other academic language. Therefore, the debate is not about whether translanguaging is good or bad, but how thoughtfully it is implemented. For example, a bridge is meant to be crossed, not to be lived on. The mother language should help learners cross towards English proficiency, and it should not become a permanent substitution for the learning. And the other side of the coin is also there, that is social political complexity. In India, language is closely connected with identity, opportunity, and social mobility. As you're well aware of that, English continues to provide access to higher education and professional careers, while many regional and tribal languages remain marginalized. Consequently, translanguaging is also going back. Oh my God. Okay, anyway, go to the next slides. Coming to the language ideologies, but every people's attitudes towards translanguaging often reflects their social experience. Families who already have access to English may welcome multilingual classrooms, whereas those who rely on schools to acquire English may worry that excessive use of home languages may disadvantage their children. Understanding these perspectives helps explain why the debate remains complex. But every learner brings a linguistic treasure into the class. A good teacher knows how to use that treasure perfectly.
Yeah, you can make your concluding
Yeah.
remark statement.
Come to the concluding part because it's not moving.
Whether it moves or not, you conclude.
Okay,
Okay.
so okay, coming to the conclusion part. In conclusion, I would say that ultimately language should never become a barrier to learning. When we value every learner's linguistic identity, we create classrooms that are not only multilingual, but also inclusively equitable and empowering. Because translanguaging is neither a revolution nor a threat in itself, its impacts depends entirely on the context, the teacher, and the purpose with which it is used. I would like to leave you with one final question. Can we truly build inclusive education if we ask learners to leave part of their linguistic identity outside the classroom? Think. Thank you so much for your kind attention.
Thank you, ma'am. I would like to invite our next paper presenter, Venu Madhavi K.
Good afternoon. Am I audible? Respected Chair, the other faculty members, and the participants. Today, my topic is on reflections on language and literature. So before I start, do you remember the Vodafone ad? Do you all remember the Vodafone ad where, there was a hutch dog, and wherever the man goes, the hutch dog also follows. Yeah. So the caption is, wherever you go, I follow you, right? But in this medley, what happened was, we all remember the hutch dog, but Vodafone is not there. Agree? Agree? So when we are discussing the emergence of artificial intelligence and how it impacts the language pedagogy, is it that we are doing a lot of deep diving into AI tools, and then forgetting the essence of teaching English as a language? Okay, then I was intriguing on this, and then I thought, as English teachers, are we concentrating on what kind of AI tools are supposed to be used in order to teach one particular topic, rather than the concept itself, rather than the idea of bringing in the proficiency skills or improving the proficiency skills among the learners? So I was taking a course on this ITP. ITP is an international training program where the learners yeah. So the learners are from diverse backgrounds, and I'm now trying to tell you about the impact of PowerPoint presentations that were presented by the ITP participants. Now you might be wondering why PowerPoint presentations. This is such a simple topic for us. And when curriculum revision happened in 2005, where multimedia language labs became a part of your curriculum, and I was also part of this as a teacher, where we started working on multimedia language labs. We established these labs and also communicative skills labs and PowerPoint presentations or describing a place or describing objects. These all became part of our syllabus. But then the participants here are from different countries called, these are all South Asian countries which are developing. And the age of the participants is, some are really elder than me. And the positions that they are in, they are the diplomats. They are working directly with the embassy, with the ministry. But the main purpose is that they come here to improve their proficiency skills, that too in English. So it was a challenging task to get associate with such people and make them learn, because they were influenced by their L1. And this is not about multilingual approach. This is about multinational approach, where you have participants speaking in French, Spanish, Japanese, and different other languages, and you need to bring them to speak in English language. So the participants, that in one of the batches were 22 participants, where here English became as a language of global interaction. And the level of these participants was between B1 and B2. Now, I also looked at multimodal social semiotics, where language is not about the words. Language is something where you can bring in terms of your non-verbal clues, in terms of the way you use your or wear your clothing, the attire, the gestures. Everything matters a lot when you talk about improving proficiency. So along with this, we are also including multimodal elements, right? Multimodal elements here, the participants were not keen or not interested to create a PowerPoint presentation using a G slide. And they're also not acquainted how to insert a video, that is a YouTube video, or how to use Instagram or Facebook or any other any other resources, social media platforms for the purpose of language. We are using all the social media platforms for our personal purposes. So we are looking at ideational meaning, where they have brought in their experiences in terms of speaking in English language. And of course, the other interpersonal meaning. And as I told you, every participant is new. They have never interacted. So we also worked on collaborative approach, where an Indonesian guy is mixed up with somebody who comes from Russia. And they need to do a lot of activity-based work. So the framework is, I looked at ELF, English as a foreign language context. And then also we looked at multimodal social semiotics, also looked at how folklore. Then the question is how to make them speak in English, because they were not speaking in English. Even in the office culture, they were speaking in their mother tongue. That is the reason why they came to India. And EFLU has been offering this ITP program for so many years, and they come here to learn language. Then instead of taking some topics, I thought, why don't we bring in folklore? Because folklore is something where the learners got used to. Is it time? No. Okay. Okay, by the time I come to the objectives, so this is a 12-week program, but I was given around 12 hours time. So in this 12 hours time, I worked on self-introduction, descriptive language, and ultimately towards the end, PowerPoint presentations became the assessment criteria. So they were made to work on Google Slides. And just going to the previous slide, if you see, I took one of the PPT slide from one of the participants, where you could see the collaborative work from different participants from different countries. And this is the literature review, where I would like to, quote something about Taylor, who talks about how you can bring in folklore into classroom instruction. At the same time, there are other researchers. I'm not concentrating on this. Let me concentrate on the research methodology here. We first conducted the needs analysis, had informal interviews, and then we had a training. Once, see, when I started teaching PowerPoint presentation, I was teaching them how to even present a slide, what kind of font, what kind of size that you're supposed to use, and all that. But right now, we are talking about the integration of AI. So we introduce them to the tools like Gamma. For example, this PowerPoint presentation was prepared using Gamma. I did not spend much time on generating a PPT slide, which used to take a lot of time. This is how we can take the help of artificial intelligence. But then the concept is mine. I took my paper and then inserted, then it actually divided my whole paper into different slides. So this is where I work on artificial intelligence. And then they went to digital lab. The analysis was both quantitative and qualitative. So it was astonishing to know that out of 22 participants, there were only 3 participants who knew about PowerPoint presentations. And I would openly state that I learned a lot from the learners. Because as a teacher, I was only teaching them about how to make a PowerPoint presentation, but the concepts that they brought in, the content that they got in, made me think about. In fact, I was using an online dictionary to understand words like, what does that arch mean? Or what? They were all talking about UNESCO sites. They were all talking about different foods that they eat. Even they were.
Excuse me, ma'am, can you please
Yeah.
make your concluding statement remark?
Yeah, the conclusion is, we as teachers also, as the previous presenter was talking about code switching, translanguaging, that happened in the class, which after every presentation, every participant has come up with a lexis, a kind of vocabulary, which was not in only Indian languages, but also we got into different other languages. These are some of the presentations where within those 12 weeks, I came to know about lot of food varieties, lot of dance varieties, music, and all this, which could happen in an English classroom. See, we as English teachers, I mean, you can happily say there is a mathematician or there is a computer science.
Can you please conclude, please? Yeah.
We as English teachers become even personality development trainers, soft skills trainers. All these things could be brought in our class. Actually, I wanted to show that video which talks about the rhythmic styling of dancing, which also led to the discussions of how we talk about soft skills integration. And these are all the things that were explored in the course. These are the assessment results. Only one participant got below 10 marks. And above all, it's not just proficiency classes. In fact, I'm sure you also have a lot of MOUs with different other countries where we have this folkloric schedule of having lunches, going for sightseeing.
You need to conclude,
Yes,
please.
yes, sir. This is my last slide.
Yeah, one sentence which.
One sentence here is, let us not just dive into AI tools. In the medley, let us not forget how to teach English. So our learners see, my last slide is, this is not about Western folklore. We have a lot of folklore. Is a student capable enough even to describe how to make an ingredient, how to make a tea, right? Are we working on that? Could we bring in those elements with the use of artificial intelligence? This is my paper. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I would like to invite our next paper presenter, Dr. Vyoma.
Yeah, you can. I think. Give her the hand mic. Right. No, it's here. The hand mic is here. That's the PPT. Array. Here, there.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Yeah. Before you start, now my appeal to you have only two more paper presenters, is to confine yourselves to your main arguments. You have a paper.
Sure.
You have a lot of things to, share, but, within 10 minutes, 8 to 9 minutes, how much you can share, right?
Definitely.
So make your important findings, okay? Right.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Dr. Vyoma. My paper presentation for today, the topic is Beyond Linguistic Proficiency in English, Language Teaching through AI-Mediated Communicative Competence. May I request you to keep changing the slides? Right. So in the first place, I think we have seen for the past 2 days that all the speakers were talking about the disruption that we have faced and where AI was actually working, HI working behind AI is actually given more importance with respect to AI. So the disruption was always there. And as teachers who are teaching English language, we all had a problem. Like when we people are teaching basic grammar and linguistic proficiency, where is it that we English teachers really become very important in a classroom? And this has been most asked question to all the speakers also in the conference most of the times. And this particular paper, I have come out with a theoretical framework, which is based on language frameworks, 4 language frameworks at the end of the day. And I came out with something called AI mediated communicative competence. For engineering students, for that matter, any students in our classroom right now, like one of the previous speakers spoke, what is it that an English teacher can ever give? Are we going to teach them and make them language proficient? I'm sorry, I think that is not the currency right now. For us, it's important that these people who are going to train the machines in the later stage, what are they? How are they going to definitely use the language part, which is very, very important. And this is where I strongly say that ELT must definitely move away from its traditional pedagogical application of being language proficient to it should definitely conceptualize prompt engineering, conceptual thinking, critical engagement, and the most important, even language proficiency at the end of the day. So I came up with a new argument that in AI mediated competence these days. What is that we should learn? We should definitely have a better language, not a proficiency, but a competency. And then we should have grammar, which is not that actually the most important, what I can call differentiator at the end of the day. It's not going to be the most important one, but we should also give importance to critical thinking and then AI literacy, which has been profoundly told by all the speakers across 2 days in our conference. And then, as I said, I didn't come out with this AICC, that is AI mediated communicative competence theory out of blue. No, I based my particular conceptual framework on these 4 language frameworks also. If I can go back. These were based on the 4 theories like communicative competence theory, new literacy theory, and then post-human pedagogy. This is very important for literature and language also, because we are in a system where right now HI and A are absolutely working together. And this is where my proposed theory, that is a framework, that is AICC, has come up with these 4 theories, which talked about translanguaging theory. I think each one of us, every day the speakers were orating on this. And then post-human pedagogy, which is very critically important to my framework. And then communicative competence theory, because we always believe that at the end of the day, students must be communicative and they should be competent in the language that they're going to speak. And then translanguaging theory, because we know that we all are absolutely into many languages. We should definitely know that we can move from one language to other in a very fluid way possible, which happens with these theories. So basing on those theories, as I said, my argument is we should definitely involve communicative competence with respect to AI mediated, where prompt engineering is very important, critical thinking is important, and ethical framework is important. Probably this is the very core of our conference also, and all the speakers also spoke. In this particular theory that I came up with, what did I give importance to? There are 3 most important core dimensions of my theory, which are rhetorical design and directing capacity. Next is algorithmic translanguaging and evaluative and verification literacy. Let me make one thing very clear. This particular theory, I came out with a classroom research that I did. I teach IELTS as well as general English to students. And when IELTS essay writing kind of an essay writing homework was given to my students, I came to know that each one of them definitely used AI. And I know that I can't dismiss AI anytime. So what I did was 15-day, I trained my students on AI prompting, that is prompt engineering, where I told them that there is something called role, context, constraint, task, and then outcome plus an example is what they should use. And then they should prompt the system. As I mentioned earlier, engineering students have very less to do with grammar, because employability skills also talks about communicative competence. And now it's very important that we should give importance to students' rhetoric design. That is how critically they think, how engagingly they will engage with the prompt to prompt the prompt to really give them the right answer anytime. So this is where I definitely came out with these 3 core dimensions, that one should definitely know that you should have a purpose behind your prompt to any meta language that you have. And you should have an audience in your mind. You should definitely know the context. You should know the constraints, and then design. I'm sure if you follow this, you will definitely come up with. So what happened was that as it is an active research in my class, I divided my students, 15 students, into 3 groups, A, B, and C. Group A, they wrote their original essays. Group B, they were given an access to AI in a very minimal way. And Group C, prompt engineering. And yes, as I said, the prompt engineering group really did very well, not because they were trained on prompt engineering, but they know how to prompt the system to produce the right result that they wanted anytime. So this was my action research. Those were my dimensions. And as I said, because I can move out and I can show you that the results are 26.4 for those who didn't use AI at all, and 34.4 for those who used minimally, and 46.3. I'm sure most of you will definitely ask me, should we dismiss grammar right now? No, I don't mean dismissing grammar anytime from ELT. It's that we should definitely make it a point to make our students more competent, not with respect to grammar, but with respect to prompting the machine anytime. And then the most important aspect why I had to come up with this particular topic is that, which is my intellectual new framework, is that because I'm sure each one of us know Andrej Karpathy. He was the director of AI at Tesla. And he once in Jan 2023 tweeted that the new hottest programming language is English. And by that, he meant that we are not going to program anymore with code. We are only going to program with language. And in the AI era, prompts become programs, LLMs become interpreters, and the most important, English is no longer to be treated as a language, but it is actually an operational infrastructure. It is us who is again going to teach all those engineering, or for that matter, any student, how to prompt using our language, by not giving more importance to grammar though, but by prompting well. That is where I say that ELT must definitely move beyond traditional to accept from designing, contextual thinking, and critical evaluation. Thank you so much.
Yeah. The last paper today is. Yeah.
Now I would like to invite our last paper presenter, Venkata Narasimha Rao Jyoti Yadav.
And please, paper presenters are trying to not be seen. They are going out. So you have to wait for your discussion also. So please, I request all of those who can hear me to come back. Okay? Right.
It is crucial for academic and professional success. During 21st century, English language learning plays an important role in every sector. So everyone has to acquire English language knowledge from school level itself. However, many students not able to acquire English language, acquire English language knowledge as accepted it due to various reasons. Because of English itself, so language is not brought by birth by any child. So we have to practice the language from the birth. And English serves as a global lingua franca and facilitating communication across cultures and professions and academic disciplines. Language is deeply intertwined with culture. So culture, as it is one of the factors of language. So both are interconnected, language as well as culture. So here it reflects a community's history, values, and way of life. Here, cultural sensitivity plays a vital role in shaping how effectively a learner acquires and uses English. So, why did I take this cultural sensitivity with another dependent variable English language? Because of, as we considered, English cultural sensitivity, it is one of the language skills, including 4 languages. And definitely cultural sensitivity influences language learning, not only cultural sensitivity as well as other psychological components such as interest and other psychological components influence language learning. Here, this paper explores the role of cultural sensitivity And on the basis of previous knowledge, so again we have to construct new knowledge. So it contributes safe and inclusive learning environments. So generally, as a teacher is a facilitator in the classroom, multilingual classroom. So most of the people, they think that, so most of the role from the student side, no, not like that, because of how teacher facilitates the content in the classroom. So depends upon that, the student will follow. So that's why both student as well as the teacher both play an important role in multilingual classroom teaching and learning process. And improved understanding of linguistic nuances and the development of intercultural competence. So here the student as well as the learner, he has to give and he has to understand and he has to respect and other cultures, as it is multilingual classroom setting. So the every student or individual, he has to give he has to understand first other cultures and their language, and he has to other languages as well as culture. And enhanced emotional intelligence and collaboration. Yeah, as I said earlier, so emotional intelligence as one of the components which will help to learn language perfectly. And enhanced okay, and higher engagement and academic achievement. Totally academic achievement depends upon the classroom instruction as well as how we are facilitating teach a facilitator. So that's why generally we may decide that the academic achievement that with scores and marks and score or the grade is not important in language learning. So automatically, so if he acquires language skills, automatically he will acquire good grade or marks. But so as it is a language is not other school subject like other school subjects, math or science or social studies, it is a skill subject. So that's why the student has to acquire the skill with the help of the teacher, as well as now what did we say, artificial intelligence and AI technology and other tools are there, as well as assessment process also we should go through thoroughly and perfectly for this academic achievement. So that's why I have taken this one. And most of the researchers, they did work on the role of cultural sensitivity in learning of, I mean, achievement of academic achievement of English language learning. And one of the researchers, she is Nasia Devistali, and conducted research on cross-cultural awareness. Generally, what is cross-cultural cross-cultural awareness and English, I mean, teaching English as a second language.
Yeah, can you
Okay.
please conclude your
Yes, sir.
presentation?
Yes, this is my objective, role of cultural sensitivity in predicting the academic achievement. So in conclusion, generally as a teacher, educator, I want to give some recommendations as per this paper. And educator should integrate emotional intelligence training and cultural awareness programs into language learning curricula. So generally in language learning curricula, so not only from the textbook, not only from the content, so we should give activities to that. And second one, supportive learning environment, the strong motivation plays an important role in language learning and teaching. So that's why these are the recommendations in my conclusion. So academic achievement is a vital aspect of individual's personal and professional life, and it helps in acquiring knowledge, developing the essential skills and achieving career success. How it is important to balance academic performance with personal development, creativity and well-being. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, and thank you one and all, and thank you very much for management committee. Thank you one and all.
May I request all the paper presenters to come back here so that we can kind of a brief conversation. Paper present We can't do anything about that. Yeah, please. Right. So it was a very interesting session. I'm sure all of you uh, gain many insights, perspectives. Excuse me, can you just pull a chair for yourself? Yeah, please. Yeah. So, as with all sessions post lunch, we are also uh, faced with this short time constraint. So I'll make few general observations. One thing is the theme of the conference was and teaching of English. So many of you talked about AI, but what I suspected was that one thing that most of the sessions, presentations did not address is AI as a discourse in the Foucauldian sense of a system of knowledge which emerges and there is power there. So there is an embedded and ideological processes. So our discussion of AI has been sanitized. We have not brought into question the 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 idea of at all. I'm referring to Foucault and others. The second is I don't think except I don't know if I've attended all the presentation, but Mr. Parimala made a reference to Chomsky. Chomsky's strong reservations about artificial intelligence, and Chomsky has to be credited with some intelligence because he's a linguist. So Chomsky is not very euphoric about AI. He's Valgalavan. Gary, okay, now, yeah, Gary Marcus, sorry, Gary Marcus, who is a biologist and also uh, a scientist in artificial intelligence. So these two have been consistently talking about the problems of AI. So having said that, when we talk about the new science emerging, and AI is still a great area, but somehow we have all jumped to the conclusion that it is an established science. And that's where even the presentations, the PPTs that we have seen are all, look similar. Okay. So I think we need to address this question of a new knowledge system that is being on us. Okay. And as teachers of English, we are just accepting it without questioning its basis. Okay. So everybody says that AI is the new way out. Okay. Forgetting the dangers. So when you talk about sciences like genetic engineering, there are strict moratoria on genetic engineering. So, but the research doesn't seem to have those safeguards. There are broad guidelines like you need to be honest, ethics and all that. So, starting with Sangeeta and Najib's presentation, which really is a very important because how do teachers deal with this question of, how do you evaluate students' assignments? So that's one thing. And then inclusive classroom. Dr. Samata talked about inclusive classroom. She's left, I think. Yeah, right. So I think we are still far away from inclusive classrooms in India. We don't have those ecosystems of inclusivity in India. It's just on paper. And then Sanjo Davis did talk about critical pedagogy. He brought in from the Brazilian context. But I was just wondering, can that context be, same in India? Okay. Because you bring in Paulo Freire and then experience, the banking system of knowledge, and then bringing experience to education. So that was an interesting area. But there is some question about what do you mean by post-colonial English? So that is still not yet clear. And then Saralabai talked about Polytechnic, AI in Polytechnic. Is she around here? Okay. So this is what happens. Because there is AI, you bring AI into UG classroom, you bring AI into PG classroom, you bring AI into rural school classroom. So what we are doing is we are actually not critically looking at anything. We have not totally understood what is AI. Okay. So we are somehow very prematurely trying to yoke, okay, a still emerging field with English language teaching. So it's like the metaphysical's violent yoking. Because there is AI, somehow we are trying to create papers about AI. Not that it has any relevance to our own classroom situation. So that's one thing. Then I think Shahana Nazneen has made a very valid observation on humanities and linguistics being left out. I don't think that is the scenario because the way the scientists work on AI, Gary Marcus himself is a neurobiologist, as well as a computational physicist. So there is this, multidisciplinarity in, and one thing that we should understand that not all scientists who are working on AI have accepted AI as a final thing, please. This is something that we are assuming. There are so many, advanced scientists working in the field of AI who have strong reservations about this premature celebration of AI. So I think it's better if we as teachers of English desist from this kind of euphoria and critically look at our classroom realities instead of just jumping onto the bandwagon that AI has come kind of a thing. And then, speaking skills and AI speech recognition, a little problematic here because, you are talking about native speakers, English, and we need to emulate that. Then Sailaja Rani's paper was on translanguaging. Tried to make a distinction between code switching and translanguaging. Okay, that's I think interesting. And Venu Madhavi's paper, she's here. I actually, this is what is a problem. Now, are we teaching English? Are we teaching folklore? Teachers of English, what is the mandate of teachers of English? Are we supposed to teach Telugu in English classroom? Are we supposed to teach Urdu or Tamil or French or German? So why experiment on the students just because you have to write a paper, okay, that we can bring in so that students have come to learn English. So I think you are causing a lot of harm by bringing in all these things instead of teaching them English, okay? And then Yoma talked about a very, very ambitious AI-mediated communicative competence, okay? Right? It looks pretty good on your presentation, but I don't know how practical it is. And last paper was on cultural sensitivity. So these are all things that we routinely talk about, that cultural sensitive content, local content and all that. But at the end, now what are we doing is we are trying to somehow bring in AI into all these things. So the questions are all old, but we are giving it a kind of a rubric, like everything is AI kind of a thing. So these are my observations. So yeah, I don't think we have time for questions. So I thank all the paper presenters for putting a lot of effort and uh, made an attempt to think about areas which perhaps would lead to further thinking and critical engagement with technology. Okay? Two things. Now, we talk about a digital divide in India. We are also talking about this divide that AI is going to bring in, because students will be burdened with dealing with AI also. If a child wants to write something without using AI, why burden the child with somehow you have to use AI? Now, what are you doing? You are trying to create two classes of students. One, those who will somehow use AI, and the others who have no interest nor any engagement with AI. So this is one danger that as teachers of English and language, we should keep it in mind. Thank you all. Thank you for bearing with me.
I thank Professor K.W. Christopher for chairing the session. Thank you, sir, for your time and presence, and also everyone present over here. It is now time for the tea break. After tea break, we'll have the validated session, which will start at 4:45. Just have your tea and please come back. And also, our next session will be taken over. Please come back here itself. We'll have the validated session here. We'll give
We are celebrating 2 days of intellectual exchange, scholarly dialogue, and a shared commitment to the reimagining future of English language teaching in the age of artificial intelligence. I am Nageshwar.
And I'm Soumya. It is our privilege to welcome you all to this valedictory session organized by the Department of English, Osmania University. Knowledge becomes truly meaningful when it is shared, debated, and carried forward. We hope that the conversations initiated here continue well beyond these 2 days.
Every successful gathering is enriched by the presence of visionary leaders, distinguished scholars, and esteemed academicians. With profound respect, we now invite our esteemed dignitaries to kindly grace the dais. May I first request our convener of the conference, Professor J. Savitri, Head Department of English, OU, to kindly grace the dais. Continue.
May I now request our co-conveners, Professor Parimala Kulkarni, to kindly grace the dais. May I now request Dr. J. Madhavi, co-convener, to kindly grace the dais. May I request Dr. Konda Nageshwar Rao, co-convener, to kindly grace the dais.
May I now request Professor Savin Sauda, Chairperson, Board of Studies in English, OU, to kindly grace the dais.
Next, may I request our guest of honor, Professor M. Lingappa, Dean, Faculty of Arts, Osmania University, to kindly grace the dais.
Finally, with great honor, may I request Chief Guest Professor S. Jitendra Kumar Naik, OSD to Vice Chancellor, OU, to kindly grace the dais.
A warm welcome has the power to set the tone for every memorable occasion. To formally welcome today's gathering, it is our honor to invite Dr. Konda Nageshwar Rao, Associate Professor, Department of English and co-convener of the conference.
Good evening to all of you. Respected chief guest for today's valedictory session, Professor Jitendra Kumar Naik sir, Senior Professor in the Department of Zoology, Usman University, and also the Dean Faculty of Science, Usman University. And the guest of honor for today's valedictory session, Professor Lingappa sir, Dean Faculty of Arts, Usman University, and today's president of the function, convener of the today international conference, Professor J. Savitri ma'am, and co-conveners and my colleagues in the department, Professor Parimala Kulkarni, Dr. J. Madhavi, and Chairman, Board of Studies, Professor Savin Sauda, of the days, Professor Sridevi from EFL University, Professor Sharada from EFL University, Professor Vijaya, former head, Department of English, Engineering College, and heads from other departments, faculty members, Usman University and constant colleges, and paper presenters, delegates, research scholars, and this time many participants from EFL University. Special greetings to you. And dear students, a warm welcome and a good evening to all of you. Every great beginning has to come to an end. As our student Nageshwar rightly mentioned, a great beginning which we started yesterday morning, today almost we came to a conclusion. And we have received almost 100 research papers on the conference theme and sub-themes. Almost 88 paper presentations have been done, 9 states, and 28 outstation participants, and one out of country from Columbia University, and 9 parallel sessions, and 9 chairs, and 3 plus 1, 4 plenary speakers have been presented. Of course, our convener, Professor Savitri Madam, will give you a detailed report on the conference proceedings. And at the outset, on behalf of the department, and also my own behalf, we extend our sincere gratitude to the chief guest, as our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Kumar Mulgaram sir, is out of country on the academic assignment, and YSD sir is busy in his office since morning out of his love, concern, and affection. He has got the time to grace the occasion. For that, on behalf of the department, we extend our sincere gratitude to you, sir. And as part of the conference, we have witnessed for many academic enrichment, academic deliberations, thought-provoking sessions, and meaningful interactions over the past 2 days. The first plenary as part of the conference keynote was delivered by Professor Maria Simply, University of Cambridge, UK, and she spoke on English alongside other languages in India and the challenges and the problems. The keynote went well, sir. And other plenary talks, Professor Ramchandra spoke on ethics of AI, and Dr. Anusha ma'am has spoken on critical AI literacy. And this afternoon, Professor C.L. Lal spoke on AI and beyond. So coming to the valedictory session, and it's my privilege to invite you all for this valedictory session. And this grand conference was begun with a grand song under the guidance of Professor Christopher, senior colleague in the department. For that, I extend my sincere thankfulness and gratitude to Professor Christopher, always behind the curtain and made the things possible. Thank you, Professor Christopher, for your relentless efforts and support. And I'm sure I wish you this valedictory session would end with very meaningful and memorable experience. And once again, on behalf of the department, I welcome you all for this valedictory session. Usually, we go to the conferences, we present the papers. At the same time, we take the pictures and we go to our homes. But this conference, organized by Department of English, as we said yesterday also, it is first of its type in the history of English language teaching, ELT. Usually, we conduct the conferences on literature, but all the people just now is talking about the impact of AI in all the disciplines, including his own discipline, that is Department of Zoology. So that we thought that there should be a meaningful discussion on AI and the challenges. How do we imagine and reimagine English language teaching in the context of artificial intelligence? Definitely, this is going to be one of the best conferences in Usman University, of course, in South India. I'm sure that all the delegates and paper presenters, faculty members across the country would go to your homes with very meaningful and academic wisdom. I'm sure you will be shining with a lot of smile on your faces. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Your gracious words remind us that every academic gathering is ultimately built upon collaboration and shared purpose. Dear friends, every conference tells a story, not only through its sessions, but through the ideas exchanged, the perspectives challenged, and the connection forged. Now I request Professor J. Savitri, Head Department of English and Convener, to present a brief report of this two-day event.
Chief guest for today's program, Professor Jitendra Nayak, OSD to Vice Chancellor, guest of honor, Professor M. Lingappa, Dean, Faculty of Arts, co-conveners of the conference, faculty members of the department, Dr. Anusha Ramanathan, paper presenters, participants, scholars, and my dear students. A warm welcome to this valedictory program of the two-day international conference on reimagining English language teaching in the age of artificial intelligence, organized by the Department of English, Usmania University, under the patronage of Professor Kumar Mulgaram, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Usmania University, with the support of RUSA 2.0. Before going ahead with the conference report, I just like to tell you the travel or the journey of this conference, which started almost like a vague thought or a loud thinking in the department when we met informally. Then when I proposed that I would like or plan to organize a conference in English language teaching, that was with Professor Parimala and Professor Christopher and Dr. Madhvi, Dr. Konda were there during that time. And that was almost by April end when we were approaching vacation. And we thought during vacation time, if we release brochure, we really don't know how many papers we receive. But still, we wanted to go ahead. And I requested Professor Srinivas Lu, who's nodal officer of RUSA 2.0. We were apprehensive because in November 2025, one international conference was already conducted, whether we would be eligible to apply for RUSA funding or not for this conference. But he gave us confidence, ma'am, this is another financial year, and that happened in a different financial year. Please go ahead and conduct, but we can't support you if you extend because we wanted to plan it during July end or so to have some time for inviting papers and so on. Then he said, with great difficulty, we can give you permission to conduct by June end or first week of July. So that left us with only or hardly 2 months of time. And during vacation, we worked, we built brochure, we worked on the brochure, sub-themes. And but what kind of conference, that was the confusion, because most of the conferences that happen in English language teaching are only on the practices, the skills of language learning, teaching, and so on. But we wanted to explore something else, which is the budding field right now. And the past 1 year, almost 6 months or so, we started extensively using ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, and other AI tools. Then we thought we have to orient ourselves and we should get some kind of enlightenment in AI tools also. And that's how we thought, okay, fine, let's go ahead with integrating English language teaching with artificial intelligence. And that's the name of the conference, Reimagining English Language Teaching with in the Age of Artificial Intelligence, Building Language Literature, Technology, and Global Employability. It doesn't mean that we ignored literature. We received so many papers linking artificial intelligence and literature. So good. And another thing that we noticed while receiving abstracts is that most of the paper presenters used AI for their abstracts because most of the abstracts have similar language. So for artificial intelligence, and when we are having conference in artificial intelligence, then people also used artificial intelligence. And we thought, yes, this is the appropriate time to enlighten or to orient people with regard to AI tools and its ethical ways of using. And this, I'm very happy that the 2 days, yesterday when it started, it went ahead well. And all these, yesterday and today, all the deliberations that are conducted, everything went on well. So let me come formally now read out the conference report of this 2-day international conference. For the inaugural session, Professor G. Naresh Reddy, Registrar, Usmania University, graced the occasion, while Professor C. Kasim presided over the inaugural session of the conference. Professor Yanti Maria Simply, who is a professor of the University of Cambridge, gave keynote address virtually because she expressed her inability to travel India since she traveled to India just a month before, and she also expressed her concerns towards the conflicts, West Asian conflicts, and she might get held up here. So she said that if it is online, she would be in a position to deliver. We wanted Professor Yanti Maria simply because she is very famous and she knows the
school students and the challenges that they are facing with regard to English language teaching. And she did extensive research for almost 12 years under two different projects sponsored by British Council and so on, Multi-Lila project and Multi-Ed project, which she talked about yesterday in her keynote address. She, based on both her projects, she drawn her findings stating that multilingual education, stronger teacher preparation, improved reading comprehension, and the effective use of translanguaging and multilingual resources in classrooms are much need of the hour. Her lecture generated considerable interest among participants and led to an engaging discussion on multilingual education, language policy, and the future of AI-enabled English language teaching. Professor Ramachandran was former Vice Chancellor of Usman University and Professor of Computer Science, was a plenary speaker in yesterday's session. I thank him from the bottom of my heart for accepting my invitation, because the moment when I called him about inviting him for this particular conference to be the plenary speaker, stating that it is your expertise and your expertise in this field is required, because this conference is not just on English language teaching, but it's integrating it with artificial intelligence. He immediately accepted and said that it's my university, ma'am, I will definitely come. And I'm very thankful to him. His lecture traced the evolution of artificial intelligence from its origins to contemporary developments. He offered valuable insights into the ethical challenges surrounding AI and emphasized the need for responsible and ethical academic engagement with emerging technologies. He recommended redesigning assessments to promote authentic learning rather than merely directing AI-generated work. His lecture reinforced the shared responsibility of educators and learners in ensuring ethical AI uses. Dr. Anusha Ramanathan, who spoke on critical AI literacy, ethical use in teaching, learning, and research today in the morning, familiarized participants with various AI tools that can be effectively used in teaching, learning, and research. She demonstrated how these tools could be used ethically and responsibly for different academic purposes, offering participants a highly practical orientation. I sincerely thank Dr. Anusha Ramanathan for her wonderful session today. She gave us practical orientation towards various AI tools. We have so many in mind. We don't know so many what she told about. Maybe we should explore all those tools now for our research. And ethical use again is whatever we use, we have to use those tools ethically. The next plenary session today is by Professor C.A. Lal, who talked about AI and beyond, rethinking autonomy and agency in English language teaching. He discussed learner autonomy in AI-supported English language teaching and highlighted AI's potential to personalize learning while preserving learner agency. He emphasized that technology should empower learners rather than diminish critical engagement, and encouraged educators to integrate AI thoughtfully with sound pedagogical practices. The conference successfully created an intellectually stimulating platform for dialogue, collaboration, and knowledge exchange among scholars from diverse academic backgrounds. It reaffirmed that while artificial intelligence offers unprecedented opportunities to transform education, its successful implementation depends on ethical governance, critical thinking, human creativity, multilingual inclusivity, and learner-centered pedagogy. As we come to the close of this enriching two-day conference, we reflect with great satisfaction on the meaningful deliberations, insightful discussions, and valuable academic exchanges that have taken place over the last 2 days. The conference has not only deepened our understanding on the opportunities and challenges presented by artificial intelligence in English language teaching, but has also strengthened our collective commitment to ensuring that technology remains humane, inclusive, and pedagogically meaningful. As we conclude this enriching two-day conference, the Department of English places on record Sincere gratitude to Professor Kumar Mulgaram, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Usmania University, for his patronage and support. Professor G. Naresh Reddy, Registrar, Usmania University. Professor Jiten Naik, OJT Vice Chancellor. Professor M. Lingappa, Dean Faculty of Arts. Professor C. Kasim, Principal, University College of Arts and Social Sciences. Professor Srinivaslu, Nodal Officer, RUSA 2.0, for their encouragement and gracious present. The department expresses its profound appreciation to Professor Ianti Maria Simply, Professor Ramachandram, Professor C. Lal, and Dr. Anusha Ramanathan for enriching the conference through their insightful academic contributions. Special thanks are also due to Professor Ilango, Secretary English Language Teachers Association of India, that's LTI, co-conveners, organizing committee, research scholars, and student volunteers whose collective efforts made this conference a great success. Thank you so much for all your support.
In 2 days. They say that education is not merely the transfer of knowledge, but the cultivation of possibilities. With that thought, we invite Professor Saveen Sauda, Chairperson, Board of Studies in English, to address the gathering.
Good evening, everyone. So it's the end of 2 days festival that we celebrated in form of academics as well as culturally also, since our students are forefront in that. So almost 1 week they are working relentlessly to shape this conference in a grand way. So I congratulate all the students, MA English students and scholars who involved in this conference. And also congratulating convener, Professor Savitri and Professor Parimala and Dr. Madhavi, Dr. Konda, and the entire English department for conducting such events on academic discussions and debates that Usman University is always familiar or known for this. So we are continuing such tradition and discussions like new happenings in academic arena. That is classrooms dynamics are completely changing through this AI. So whatever the new tendencies or the techniques that is evolving that we have discussed 2 days, and we try to solve whatever the problems that arising through these new techniques. So I congratulate all the participants for your deliberations. It's not only language, but few people also focused on literary aspects as well. So I congratulate all of you and thank you once again for giving this opportunity. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable observations and encouraging words.
Our next speaker has consistently inspired academic excellence through leadership and vision. It is our privilege to invite Professor M. Lingappa, Dean Faculty of Arts, Osmania University, to deliver his address.
Good evening to all. First of all, I congratulate to head of the department, Professor J. Javatri, and all our team conducted such a great 2 days conference. This program chief guest, Senior Professor S. Jitendra Naik, and Parimala Kulkarni Madam, Savina sir, and Konda, Madhavi, Professor Christopher, Professor Vijay Madam, all English teachers and students, scholars. It's my privilege to and honor to be present at the valedictory session of this 2 days international conference on reimagining English language teaching in the age of artificial intelligence. I congratulate Head Department English, Osmania University, for organizing such a timely and intellectual stimulating conference. So over the past 2 days, the conference has brought together eminent academicians, research scholars, teachers, and students from the different institutions across the country. The insightful deliberations, engaging the discussions and exchange of the innovative ideas have enriched our understanding of the opportunities and challenges that artificial intelligence presents the English language teaching and learning. Artificial intelligence is transforming education in unprecedented ways from the personalized learning platforms and intelligent tutoring system to AI assisted writing, translation, and assessment tools. Technology has become an integral part of the teaching learning process. However, while AI offers remarkable possibilities, it should complement to not replace the role of teachers. The human qualities of empathy, creativity, ethical judgment, and cultural sensitivity remain that heart of the meaningful education. English language teaching today requires a balanced approach that integrates technology, innovation with human values. Our responsibility as educator is not only to equip learners with linguistics competency, but also to foster critical thinking, communication skills, creativity, collaboration, and ethical use of the technology. AI can enhance learning experience, but it is the teacher who inspire, guides the nature learners. I am confident that recommendations and scholarly insights emerging from this conference will contribute significantly the curriculum development, pedagogical innovation, and future research in English language education. The knowledge shared here will undoubtedly benefit educational institution in adapting to the rapidly evolving the digital landscape. I sincerely appreciate the efforts of the organizers, faculty members, student volunteers, and all those who worked tirelessly to make this conference a grand success. My special congratulations to all department teachers and students, scholars. Thank you for this opportunities. Thank you to one and all.
Thank you, sir. Your words remind us that education must evolve with changing time while remaining rooted in enduring values. Ladies and gentlemen, every conference leaves us with new questions, fresh perspectives, and renewed purpose. To guide us in carrying these ideas forward, we now request our esteemed chief guest, Professor S. Jitendra Kumar Naik, OSD to Vice Chancellor OU, to kindly deliver the valedictory address.
Respected dignitaries on the dais, Head Department of English and convener of this two-day international conference, Professor Savitri Madam Garu, and co-conveners of this conference, Professor Parimala Kurkale Garu, Dr. Madhavi Garu, Dr. Konda Nageshwara Garu, and Chairman Board of Studies, Professor Savin Soda Garu, and Dean Faculty of Arts, Professor Lingappa Garu, and esteemed faculty from the Department of English, and Professor Vijaya Madam, Professor Christopher, and Dr. Ashok, and other members of the faculty, and research scholars, invitees, dignitaries, and participants. Good evening to all. At the outset, I deemed it to be privileged to stand in front of you on this evening as a chief guest of this function for valedictory. When Madam has approached me to extend a cordial invitation to take part in this program with an invitation card, I have not opened the cover, but after that today morning, I have taken out the card and I'm going through the topic. And I thought that how come this literature is going to be blended with this AI, or AI, how it is exactly going to be impacting on these languages, not only English, other languages too. So really, I'm fortunate to be associated with, and I'm listening to, hearing to the madam's presentation today, congregation which has been happened here, and the deliberations which might have been taken place, and the participants. I think 88 papers has been presented in 9 parallel sessions or panel sessions which might have been taken up. Really, I felt so happy, and I think the people who are sitting here might have been taken up in a academic feast, which may be going to be helpful for your mending of your further future. Uh, Actually, as I said that, our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Kumar Mulgaram garu, who is so keen in having this type of deliberations and congregations to exchange the knowledge, whatever we have. And at the same time, as I think rightly said that I belongs to a biological science faculty, and also particularly to that of zoology. So always I used to think that, the human brain, I think how many are aware about that, I don't know, but the human brain constitutes of almost 86 billion neurons, which emerges from 100 interlinkages or interconnections. So this 86 billion neurons are going to control or coordinate all the vital functions of the cell, or all the functions which we are going to perform. So that is the beauty of this brain and the neuron. You know what is the size of the neuron? The neuron size is a micron, a millimicron, maybe 3 millimicron structured cell is going to guard and control the entire activity, including all the responses what we are going to show. So this type of, the structure, is it going to be replaced by this artificial intelligence? This is the question. So, yes, I think in the inaugural session, if I'm not wrong, the chief guest of the function or Honorable Registrar might have been used that AA should be used as a tool, if I'm not wrong. So, I too believe in that AA is supposed to use it as a tool. So, I'm not going to go in depth about what exactly this. So this artificial intelligence, as we know, that is a transforming change which is coming up and going to occupy a pivotal role in education system, particularly in the this particular languages, pedagogy, and other things. So, as I said that AI is supposed to be used as a tool. How you are going to use, how best you are going to amalgamate with this particular tool with that of your language domain, that's matter a lot. So I think nowadays we are all habituated to use ChatGPT or other tools too. So whatever the ChatGPT is going to give that the phrasing or something like that, don't rely on the same phrasing, because that may going to have its own thing. But again, there your involvement is required. There your insight is supposed to be needed to reframe, to map to your what is that, your domain. So that itself indicates that totality, the AI is not exactly going to influence, bring a change in the orientation or maybe in our domain. So generally, as a teacher, when we are going to be here to disseminate the knowledge which we gain and try to impart this knowledge to our children or our students, if at all AI is coming up into the scene, maybe going to take up, maybe going to give much more better orientation than a teacher, because teachers, maybe some teacher may have a poor communicative skill, or maybe not in a position to communicate effectively, or which may not able to reach to the student. Maybe this AI might have been going to be overcome this problem. But the student should learn many things, not only from these preachings. By observing the teacher, by observing them, I think teacher is a teacher. Teacher cannot able to be replace it. So why I'm quoting this in the sense, this is also more or less similar to that. AI is supposed to use, and at the same time, use your natural intelligentsia, which might have been governed by your neuron or nerve cell. So I'm confident this 2-day international conference might have been become a right platform for the people, you are all to have an opportunity to interact with the experts which might have been came up here, and got an ample opportunity to discuss with them and also listen to them to take away some important cue or maybe the message from these people, from this podium, from this platform, and use this input and information to update and upgrade, and you mend your whatever wherever exactly it required, you be to take up that, and hope this conference might have been given better exposure to you, for particularly with respect to that of artificial intelligence, how exactly it is influencing on reimagining of your English languages. Before I conclude, I take this opportunity to thank the entire Department of English, particularly to Professor Savitri Madam and all the co-conveners and also the faculty who has been thought of me to be here as a chief guest of this function. And on behalf of my Honorable Vice Chancellor and my own behalf, I wish you all the best and have a memorable things which you might have been carry out, and best of luck to you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your keen address. Your address has not only reflected upon the significance of this conference, but has also encouraged us to approach the future of education with confidence, creativity, and responsibility.
Recognition is a celebration of participation, commitment, and scholarly engagement. We shall now begin the certificate distribution ceremony. May we request our dignitaries to kindly present the certificates to our participant. To assist with the proceedings, may I invite our friends Anjani and Purnima to come forward to read out the names of participants for certificate distributions.
Good evening. First is Prasanna Lakshmi. Navneeta. Simra Nazim.
Okay, she's our.
Okay. Venkata Narasimha Rao. Okay. That's it. Bolo. Sangeeta Putiyedanath. Sangeeta. Dr. P. Samata. Yeah. Sanju P. Davis. Dr. Shahana Nazneen. K. Sarita. नहीं Dr. D. Shailaja. Dr. Venu Madhavi. Dr. Vyomakeshi Shri. Tulsi Rajiv. Ranjit Kumar.
Sir, this way.
Bharat Kumar. P. Suma Bindu. Dr. Amit Kumar. Dr. Tirupati.
Nisi Niharika. Prakasham Gadipe.
Amit Kumar.
Pranay Kumar Kanti.
इसका नाम है
Dr. Anjaneyulu. Dr. Moinuddin.
अमित कुमार शिवाजी प्रणय अंजनी पढ़ ले
Dr. Moinuddin. Dr. M. Nancy Serena.
नेक्स्ट वर्ड
Naeem Omar Ismail.
नेक्स्ट भी पढ़ ले
Sai Babu Medaka.
नेक्स्ट भी पढ़ ले
Praveen Kumar T.S.
साई बाबू प्रवीण कुमार टीएस
Rajendra Babu. Salma Soleiman. Ram Babu. Tanlakshmi B.
शर्मा तेरी
Tanlakshmi.
नेक्स्ट
Dr. T. Diana Jacob.
लक्ष्मी पढ़ ले नेक्स्ट पढ़ ले
Dr. C.S. Swati.
पढ़ ले नेक्स्ट
Surya.
पढ़ ले
Sirisha.
वो पढ़े
Sri Lakshmi Jala.
Sirisha.
Sri Lakshmi Jala. Dr. R. Meghna Rao. Abbas Muhammad. Abdul Basir Omar Shah Khail Hana Hamid. Abdul Kavi Hamood Muhammad Hazea. Arun Kumar T. Balaram Krishna K.
Balaram Krishna.
Dharmaraju M. Faiza Sayeda. Gauri Shankar V. Hamza Dagam. Himarashmi S. Nayak. Jasmine Pathan Khan. Kavita Verma R. Kavya Ponnamareddy. Kirti Krishnamurthy. Kiranmai P. Dr. E. Krishna Chaitanya. Lakshman Raju Mamidi. Lydia Vedam. Dr. Peter Belly Graham Pagolu. Peter is not here. Dr. V. Srilata. Surekha Myakala. Dr. M. Surender. Dr. Suresh Kumar Dampa. Dr. Chalapaka Bogachandra Vittal. Tirupati Reddy Maram.
Yes.
One sit here. It's there. It's with the dictator.
Tirupati Reddy.
Ma'am, he does not want to come on stage. He doesn't want to come on stage.
Okay, next one.
Srihari Pusuluri. Subalakshmi Haldar. Shashikant Ramawat. Anil Kumar G.
Anil Kumar. You are. Next one.
Now we have participants. Amrita S.
Amrita.
Badan Moni. Dr. Sanatombi K. Sangama.
Madan Moni.
Kodam Naveen Kumar. Dr. Sanatombi K. Sangama.
I think she's not here.
Kodam Naveen Kumar.
Naveen Kumar.
Maya Meena. P. Navanita. Smita Varghese. Sama Bhuvaneshwari.
Participate.
That's done.
Participate. Yeah. Participants. Done na? Participants. Even participants.
As all good things must come to an end, we feel it is our duty to express our deepest gratitude to everyone who made this grand event possible. To deliver the formal vote of thanks, I invite our friend Tamima to the stage.
I would like to propose the formal vote of thanks. First of all, I would like to thank Professor G. Naresh Reddy, Registrar of Usmania University, for gracing us with their presence. I would like to thank Professor S. Jitendra Kumar Nayak, OSD to Vice Chancellor, Usmania University, for gracing us with their presence. I would like to thank Professor C. Qasim, Principal, University College of Arts and Social Sciences, for always being supportive of the department. I would like to thank Professor M. Lingappa, Dean, Faculty of Arts, Usmania University, for his constant presence and support. I would like to thank Professor Ianti Maria Simply for providing the keynote address. I would like to thank Professor S. Ramachandram for the day 1 plenary session. I would like to thank Dr. Anusha, TIS Mumbai, for the featured session. I would like to thank Professor C.A. Lal for day 2 plenary session. I would like to thank convener Professor J. Savitri, head of the department, without whom this conference wouldn't have been possible. I would like to thank the co-conveners, Professor Parimala Kurkanni, Dr. J. Madhavi, and Dr. Konda Nageshwar Rao for their relentless effort. I would like to thank Professor Savin Sauda, Chairboard of Studies, for his constant support. I would like to thank Professor Christopher for his dedicated. I would like to thank all the professors and assistant professors from the constituent and affiliated colleges who are part of the English department and have worked for the success of this conference. I would like to thank everyone who have chaired the sessions and provided insights for the participants. I would like to thank all the paper presenters who presented their findings on various themes. I would like to thank all the participants who were present through various talks and sessions. We hope this conference made you more knowledgeable. I would like to thank the technical staff and non-teaching staff of the Department of English who work hard behind the scenes and make everything possible. Finally, I would like to thank the MA previous years and MA final year students who are the backbone and have been working relentlessly to make the conference possible. Thank you.
Wait. No. As an extension, I have to add, because Tanuma can't add all those names. So I thought of extending my vote of thanks, because there are so many people who worked behind the scene. First, Dr. David, because after we received all the abstracts, arranging all of them in order, and then sitting in Kevis Xerox aligning them is such a Herculean task. So it's a big applause to Dr. David. And I have to also mention Shravan and Prashant of MA Previous, who for 5 days almost sat with DTP operators in KV Xerox, worked for printing banners, lunch coupons, certificates, and whatnot with related to conference. Special thanks to two of them. I should also thank the students who took special care of our invited guests, Dr. Anusha and Professor C.A. Lal, and also Professor Ramachandram. They are the ones who accompanied them. They went to the airport, brought them Diksha, Nageshwar, Monica, Manasa, Monica, Manasa, not Monica. What is that? This is the other one. And also, all the previous and final students for the past almost a week or so, and for the last 2 days, worked day and night for preparing, for arranging everything, making the arrangements of the conference and so on. I should also thank Tejaswini of MA Previous. She is the one who designed invitation cards using Canva and also prepared certificates using Canva. All the student volunteers, Pregna who is sitting here is the one who monitored everything related to the technical aspects along with Mr. Sai, who is our technician. And also Komalika, whose work, she worked for downloading all the PPTs and then sending them to respective people, the students for their in parallel sessions. And if I have to name everyone, I should name all the MA previous students in person, whether it is Tabina, Bushra, Crowny, Priya, everyone. So I have to take names of all 80, 90 students. Yeah. Gokul and Kushi, who sat through all the sessions, prepared reports, or highlighted whatever the highlights of the keynote sessions and so on. Husno also. And Paul is the one actually who, yeah, I think who is our photographer, geotag photographer. Paul is the one who sees to it that we miss no session recorded. And finally, the lady in white sari today, Samima. See, she is the head coordinator of all the coordinators. She worked very coolly, patiently, with no tension, no anxiety, no hurry, nothing. And at this age, having that composure is something which is really great. Certificate writers, I mean, all the certificate writers, we have to appreciate all of them because they sat through all the sessions and then wrote certificates then and there. Got them, made sure that to look into the spellings and then paper presentations, everything. And that's how all of you could receive certificates today with no delay. And if I miss, Uma Mahesh is the one, is right now a scholar, but he was a MS student too. And he loves to be in the department, to support the department. He, along with Dr. David, started KV Xerox working for the abstracts. And I also thank Mr. Lingareddy and Raghav Reddy. Strictly those two were instructed that we should not have any power problem in this room whatsoever. Because when we conducted project work and research methodology workshop, unfortunately, power tripped and there was interruption of power and they could not switch on generator. The resource person and Professor Revati Srinivasan, I should appreciate her patience and composure during that time because she had to bear through. There's no power, no lights. Only towards the end of our session, power came. Though we were given confidence that this generator would work, but that didn't work during that time. There was no power in the entire university during that time. So those two literally worked hard and they did trial run also yesterday and they repaired all the wires, everything and so on. Sai is the one who for the seamless internet connection for the keynote speaker was very particular because she's coming online. So special thanks to him. If I've missed anyone, it's not personal. Our department, Srinivas, Sri Shailam, Gautam, without whose support we can't, I mean, all the works, we do work in the front, but these are the people who work in the backstage and are not visible in the forefront. So all these people, if I missed anyone, yeah, Santosh, sorry. Santosh is the one who helps us with for any work, whether at 121 room or this room. Now he is the one who takes care of the technical aspect, mic or so on, and everything. If I missed any, it's not intentional. Any person, it's not intentional. But there are so many people. And finally, my thanks to Professor Parimala, Dr. Madhavi, and Dr. Konda Nageshwara, without whose support and consensus and the teamwork, all our teamwork made this conference successful. Thank you so much for making all these 2 days very, I mean, it's like it's something which goes in a long way in the department, history of the department. And this is something which will be remembered for a long time. Thank you so much for everything. I should also thank, of course, Professor Christopher has given a lot of acknowledgement already. And Professor Saveen Sauda, who's been with us constantly. The camera person who is here, we had trial run because we were not actually looking for live streaming also, but our focus was on keynote address. Sai said there is input, there is no output. We can listen to her, but what we talk, she can't listen. So that's when I should also acknowledge the efforts of Mr. Mohan, who is who's a technician from FLU, who came and cooperated, who gave technical support, and then who gave some support to Mr. Sai so that he can look after the technical aspect and so on. Photographer is the one who went around and then took photograph all the sessions. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. And there's one certificate that we missed out, sir. One certificate ఒకటి మిస్ అయింది. జితేంద్ర సార్ ఒక సర్టిఫికేట్ మిస్ అయింది అదొక టీచర్స్ అయింది. There's one certificate. It's there. I should thank Dr. Konda for extensive coverage in media and also Professor Patrick, PRO, who sent to different newspapers for the extensive coverage. And I also thank press and media. Thank you so much.
The way and they formed a road on which we had walked very smoothly. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello. Please be seated. To formally conclude the conference, may I request everyone present here to rise for the national anthem.
इसके बाद ये पढ़ लेना पढ़ लेना
ओए अंजनी बाद में Thank you for being a part of this academic journey. We wish you a pleasant evening and a safe journey home. Jai Hind.
जय हिंद Excuse me, if any one of you is